This is Weekly Gaming News. 5 quick stories, let's go. We're starting with Highguard, a brand new multiplayer release that has quickly become one of the most downvoted games of 2026. Following its launch on January 26th, the game was almost immediately flooded with negative reviews on Steam, where it currently sits at mostly negative, with over 30,000 reviews counted so far. Since launch, Highguard's player count has also dropped sharply, and the game has become the subject of widespread jokes and criticism online. If you're wondering where all of this backlash came from, it actually started before release. Highguard was revealed as the final game at the Game Awards 2025, a slot usually reserved for something big, but many viewers were left disappointed by what they saw. The reveal went trending online for all the wrong reasons, with criticism even spilling over toward the decision to close the show with it. Once players got their hands on the game, complaints focused heavily on boring multiplayer design and serious performance issues. While it is not quite on the level of Sony's failed Concord, the reaction has been strikingly similar. At this point, only future updates and meaningful changes will determine whether Highguard can recover, but for now, it stands as one of 2026's earliest cautionary tales. Zooming out from individual games, the wider picture for the industry is even more concerning. A recent report shows that roughly 1/3 of US video game industry workers have been laid off over the past 2 years, affecting developers, artists, writers, QA testers, and support staff across the board. What's made this situation even more controversial is the growing role of AI in game development. Over the past year, several studios have faced backlash for experimenting with AI-generated art, writing and voice work, often without clear communication to players or developers. While companies insist AI is meant to assist development, many workers fear it is being used as a cost-cutting measure, replacing roles rather than supporting them. That concern feels especially relevant when layoffs are happening at the same time publishers are investing heavily in automation and machine learning tools. There's no single cause behind these job losses, but the overlap between layoffs, rising AI adoption, and shrinking budgets has created a lot of anxiety across the industry. For players, this matters because fewer developers and less creative stability almost always lead to rush games, safer design choices, and lower quality releases. Microsoft also shared some concerning numbers this week, revealing that Xbox hardware sales have dropped by 32% alongside a broader decline in gaming revenue. While Xbox continues to focus heavily on services like Game Pass, these figures raise questions about the long-term future of traditional console hardware. A drop of this size suggests that fewer players are buying new consoles, even as subscription services grow. That shift may make sense financially, but it also changes how games are designed, marketed, and supported. For Xbox fans, the big question now is whether Microsoft sees hardware as a core pillar going forward, or just a gateway to services. With everything happening across the industry right now, it helps explain why this next story hit so hard for Deus Ex fans. Adam Jensen's voice actor, Elias Tufexis, recently came forward to deliver some brutal news, writing that there's no Deus Ex and adding in his own words that the people in charge are psychopaths. That level of frustration is understandable, especially considering that Deus Ex Mankind Divided ended on a major narrative cliffhanger back in 2016, one that has never received any payoff. At the time, the game was developed by Eidos Montreal and published by Square Enix, but things changed dramatically in 2022 when Square Enix sold the Deus Ex IP along with Tomb Raider, Thief and the entire Eidos Montreal studio to Embracer Group. Then in 2024, Embracer would go on to cancel a new Deus Ex project and lay off a significant portion of staff, and as of now, the company still controls both the franchise and the studio. Whether we ever see another Deus Ex game remains uncertain, but there may be a small reason for hope. Crystal Dynamics, another studio sold to Embracer in that same deal, has recently revealed a new Tomb Raider project. If Lara Croft can make a comeback, fans are left asking, why not Adam Jensen? Finally, let's talk about Tomb Raider, and a project that's quietly starting to get attention ahead of its launch. While the immediate focus is on the remake of the original Tomb Raider, which is set to release this year, Crystal Dynamics is also working on Tomb Raider Catalyst, a brand new entry currently targeting a 2027 release. According to industry insider V-Scooper, who previously leaked that the game would be set in India, Catalyst is expected to feature a fully open-world structure. The report suggests players will be able to explore snow-capped mountains, jungles and deserts all coexisting within the same map, a major departure for the series. Crystal Dynamics appears to be using this open-world approach as a part of a broader effect to redefine the franchise's mechanics and gameplay systems, rather than simply scaling things up for the sake of it. That said, open worlds are always a gamble. We've seen plenty of franchises lose their identity by going bigger, not better, filling massive maps with repetitive activities and filler content. If Catalyst can deliver meaningful exploration and handcrafted design, this could redefine Tomb Raider for a new generation. But if it falls into the trap of size over substance, it risks becoming another example of ambition working against the series. Before we wrap up, there's one smaller story worth mentioning, especially for long-time fans. A new rating has appeared on the Australian classification board for something titled Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition, which has immediately sparked speculation that the franchise could be making a comeback. As always with ratings listings, this doesn't confirm a full new game. It could be a remaster, collection, or anniversary re-release. That said, Rayman has been dormant for years, and even a small revival would be welcome news for fans who've been waiting a long time. For now, it's just a listing, but it's one that's worth keeping an eye on. That's going to do it for this week's biggest gaming headlines. From disastrous launches and layoffs to uncertainty around some of gaming's most iconic franchises, it is clear the industry is going through a rough stretch right now. Let me know which story you think matters most, and which one you want a deeper dive on next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.